This is Fable Trek, and you're listening to the Backlog Gamers podcast. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
I've got Rage PB. I've got Unchained Saga down there. Of course, our two newest members, and then of course, I see my oldest friend for last. Naturally, HaloTitan.
As it should be,
my friend.
What's up, my dude? Thanks for introducing the show today. My name said Rage PB up there.
Yeah, that's why I went to the other ones first. Let's be real.
I was like,
I am the better sibling.
We all strive to be Rage PB at the end of the day.
We all strive. There you go. Now you all know the truth.
Well, welcome on in, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Backlog Gamers podcast. Today, we're going to be talking platformers.
Yay.
We all love them. It's going to be our theme for the episode. We'll kind of have it structured the same as we did the space one. I really enjoyed that episode we did. Episode 3, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do so. But before we do that, how are you guys doing? What have you been up to this past week? What are you playing? What's going on with life? For people who care.
Yeah, it's been crazy over here at our house. Been prepping for a new Kickstarter because we do Kickstarters whenever we have new books coming out, and I've got a new book coming out later this year, and so we're getting ready for the Kickstarter, and that's just mayhem. So gaming is usually a little lower when we're in the midst of that, but I have dabbled a little bit with Fire Emblem. 3 Houses still. So I've actually really been enjoying that game. So I think the only other person who's played it here is Saga. But if you guys have played it, let us know. Oh, see,
it's that good. I actually finished it and went back.
And he actually finished it, which is saying something for him. So if you guys like it, let us know in the comments, because at least the two of us will be all about that.
You play anything else at all this last week?
Oh, well, there was this other thing that I played, but I forgot that it was a secret for a while, so now I can actually talk.
So, to preface this, we, Unchained Saga there, issued a challenge that the 2 newest Backlog Gamers would be able to finish Split
Phrase
Fiction
it that way, why don't you?
Before the oldest members of the group here.
I recall my words being, let's have a friendly competition to see who can just beat it first. And lo and behold, what happens to this friendly competition?
Crushed you.
No. You lied to me. You lied to us.
Hey, we didn't lie. We just
for weeks, you guys are like, oh, we don't have time to get to the game. Oh, we're so busy. Oh, we can't play Faz or any other game with you guys tonight. We're just so busy with our personal lives.
To be fair, we did not skip out. We did not skip out on gaming with you guys.
Sure. Yeah, no.
We may have stayed.
The children say.
We may have stayed on a bit longer after you guys bailed. A couple times.
Yeah. No. So to be clear, a faithful audience, those 2 that you put your trust in for your gaming news lied to their co-hosts and went behind our backs because they knew they couldn't beat us younger, fresher, more talented talented people in a head-to-head competition on a good game.
To be fair, you guys had a decent head start on us.
That's true.
I'll never forgive. We were trying to give you guys time to catch up. We were being generous.
Right. But speaking of more talented, I mean, we all know that Rage PB is the ultimate double jumper. And one of the things that we're talking about this week,
you flatter me.
It may be double jumping, right? Yeah.
So, okay.
And by flatter me, he's a liar.
Well, we know that to be true. They lie as in air.
Diabolical.
My heart is wounded. Tell us in the comments below if you've been betrayed by a fellow gamer in such a capacity.
Fable, I have to love Titan because he's my brother. I don't have to love you.
I don't have to love any of you.
I don't know. I'm a little upset.
Well, other than Split Fiction for Rage PB and Saga, you guys have anything else that's been on your platter?
I've been incredibly busy as well. The only thing I've had time to actually do is I got a chance to check out a few demos for upcoming indie games, including Haste Broken Worlds, which is out now. really cool take on just like a high-speed runner. You're just nonstop, 90 miles an hour into the end of the world. That's a cool demo. I haven't had a chance to check the full game. Big catch tackle box edition, which is like your little farmer mascot dude. Cool vibes.
Cool.
I think that's it. Yeah,
all right.
Like that.
How about you, Rage? I know you had a busy week traveling and working.
I did not do much gaming this week because I actually went down and saw 2 of our hosts in real life. IRL.
Can't say
Or
friends
IRL.
anymore.
IRL life.
I can't see it, but I'm flipping all of you off right now.
That's where I discovered their treachery, man.
That's when Saga discovered the treachery.
Heartbroken.
Goodness.
I think I left part of my heart on that Chili restaurant, those Chili's restaurant. They're forever.
We did give them. We were like, oh, let's hop on and play Split Fiction, and then we beat it 3 hours later and revealed to them that. Well, I raged at first. Thought we beat the whole thing 3 hours.
No, I knew. I was like, when Fable turned his status to away or offline, so he was no longer online. I knew right then and there you guys were doing it, but I just thought you guys had a little bit like more morals that you might like have to some like, you know,
calling our honor into question.
We're not bitter at all, can't you tell?
I just thought maybe you guys like considered us friends, but you know, it's fine, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, that's been our week. How about you, Poseidon? How's your week been?
So, anyways, we should talk about platformers.
Platformers. Let's hop into our discussion of platformers. Our guide here, and we make it nice and simple so it's just a conversation between us about this. And we encourage anyone listening or watching the video to let us know what you think about any of our topics. And the topic this week we have is what makes a good platformer. You know, does everyone here know what a platformer is?
Big jump.
Yeah,
big
essentially,
jump, save princess.
Your OG Mario,
jumping
over things. Typically, like the side scroller kind of stuff. One that kind of pops into my head that was just it happened during one of our achievement hunts, Zach, that we were doing where we were competing on getting the highest gamer score for the month was one that you bought called Typo Man.
I destroyed you, or
no? I think I won.
We're not going down that road.
I won that year. I know how ruthless Zach can get. That was I should be less of a gamer than he is.
No, but I agree, Typo Man. I'm so glad you brought it up, and I know a lot of people have never seen Typo Man, so we'll definitely get it on the screen for you here. But for those listening, and you're not going to be able to see this, Typo Man is this really, really cool game where you are the hero, and your hero is made out of the letters HERO, right? And as you run around, you have to use different letters that are in the world to put them together in order to accomplish the task. So you'll be running through this platformer, and then you'll be like, oh, I need a bridge. And then you'll have to find the letters for bridge to build bridge. And then you'll build a bridge for yourself, and you can keep going. And it's just the coolest platformer. It was one of those ones that I found on sale during one of the sale seasons. And HaloTitan knows that I love finding these cool indie games to grab and play.
He loves his platform.
Boy, I tell you what, that was one that you played to, and you were like, this is cool.
It was really
this
cool.
Is a really cool one.
It really helps if you know how to spell.
Not friendly to dyslexic people.
Probably easiest for native English speakers.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the words. Some of the words you're kind of seeing there right now. Like some of the words, they really play a huge factor, and it's not just the platforming stuff that you're working with. You also have to interact with these words in order to solve some puzzles in order to move forward. It's not something overly complicated that would drive Fable Trek nuts, but it's still a whole heck of a lot of fun. I really enjoy Typo Man. But when I think of platformers, like especially like modern day stuff, I kind of think of things like Typo Man. Whereas, like, obviously, all of us kind of think of probably the original Super Mario Brothers way back on the original NES.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the best Super Mario Brothers, I think we could probably all agree on it, is Super Mario Brothers 3, which, I mean, we probably all played 36 times a piece, because sure, we all look back on it with nostalgic vibes, I'm sure. But if you go back,
the one where you have to murder Yoshi? Is that the one where you have to sacrifice your?
If I recall, that was Super Mario Brothers, the first one. Yeah.
Right.
But of course, you could go back and look at all of those guys. One of my OG favorites is the original Kirby's Dream Land. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but I remember having that on my Game Boy, the Great Brick, and that thing was so fun because, one of the cool elements about that one, and this was kind of an early platformer, and one of the cool things about that one was, Kirby would breathe in air and then he would like float down to things and then he would puff out the air and it would move it backwards. And there was a really neat physics to that, especially early on in platformers. So I really loved that. What are some of the ones you guys remember?
Boys didn't have the backlight, so you'd be like playing it in the car by like the street lights. Like
the street lights. Yeah,
you didn't die in between the street lights. You're like, please.
Yeah, and then the ones, and then you would get like hold a flashlight in your mouth, and you're like,
or you remember like the book light, yeah. To like put them in my hair.
Unchained Saga's like, I don't understand what those.
No. I can relate to all of these. I was just going through a series of like traumatic flashbacks because when I think platformer, what often occurs to me is that string of really, really terrible early 2000s 3D platformers where it's like you got your like early Sonic games that ventured into 3D. You got your Crash Bandicoot, which was really good, but then they got a little weird. But like just these niche games I can't remember the titles of a lot of the smaller off-brand platformers where it was just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. The camera was terrible. You go to jump on a platform and it's moving and you're moving and you just don't hit that one little pixel right, so and you die and you have to start all over.
Whereas like some of those side scrollers that kind of did the pseudo 3D before that, like you look at like Donkey Kong Country, where they made 3 of those because they were so good and it was just awesome. And of course they were side scrollers, so it was pseudo 3D. It wasn't like actual 3D.
I really like the side scrolling platform and stuff, but it's really cool when a game like say Uncharted or Tomb Raider and they like implement some platforming sections in games like that are so fun. Like I wouldn't classify those games as platformers, but they do have sections in there when you're navigating the map that you just kind of some platforming here and there. It's so stinking cool. What about you, Ray? Do you have anything that comes to mind? What like kind of makes a good platformer to you?
Everyone's gonna like dog on me. I hate platformers. I hate them. I don't play them. I don't like them. I am kind of playing them. I guess Split Fiction's like a co-op, kind of a sometimes platformer.
It definitely has
very much a platformer.
Tons of platformer.
Those are like the only 2. Yes, I've played Mario. I've played Donkey Kong. I've played Sonic 20 years ago. And I was actually telling Fable's beautiful wife at dinner this past weekend that I had to stop playing Mario on my DS because I would get so mad I would throw it. And that's not healthy nor good for your, like, that's just not good. Get anger management. But Mario made me so mad that I was like, this is my nightmare. Like a platform game, it's just my nightmare. I'm sorry, guys. I have not played platformers. I'm gonna be the resident platformers suck. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's what I love about our group is we have some diversity here. Rage, you and I are not big Nintendo fans. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Nintendo games, but just not enough to spend the money on. on a new console for that I know is just going to sit there and collect dust. But you brought up Split Fiction, and I was thinking of that when I decided that we would do the platforming discussion, just because that game, when I think of modern platforming, has so many cool things in there. They've innovated platforming and co-op gameplay in such a way that I'm like, they've set a new level. I think like you see these big massive AAA studios falling on their face now and then, making games like Mass Effect Andromeda. And it's just like, then you look at the effort they put into a game like Split Fiction here, which I swear will probably win Game of the Year. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. I can't at this point, I can't wait to do a review for it. I can't even imagine what would beat it. But you're right.
If GTA 6 comes out, maybe just because of sheer hype.
I'm just saying that the game is phenomenal. Like
it is a phenomenal game.
Unbelievable. It just like it was. It Takes Two was right. And the best part about it is it takes so many different nostalgic like gameplays and throws them all into one. Like there was a whole section in that game where I was like, this is Donkey Kong Country right here. Like that's exactly what this is. Like, or there was a whole section of the game where it was like a side story, and it was like I immediately turned to HaloTitan and I was like, this is Fall Guys. This is hilarious. And like there was so many different there's so many different games all smashed into one. And I think it just goes to show that the people behind that studio love video games. And so they bring the best from all their favorite games, and which many of them are platformers, of course, and they throw them all into one game and just give you just the ride of your life. It's the coolest.
Just fantastic passion that they put into those games. And it really kind of highlights for me what makes a platformer good is navigating the world and moving on to the next section. Back in the OG days of platformers, it was jump over blocks and jump on your enemies and and move forward. But now it's like traversing these expansive worlds that they have and getting to the next section. It's just, I think Split Fiction and It Takes Two have done such a wonderful job. It's kind of perfecting that.
If there were more like that, I like those. I enjoy playing those. Whereas to me, Mario, people are gonna hate me. It just gets so
there's a whole community of people are like,
it's just so repetitive,
That's
and
fair.
I'm like, okay.
And I think that's why platformers kind of evolved, though, because you get games like Ori. Like Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Okay, easily some of the best scores in all of video games. Thank you, Gareth Coker, for your brilliance. But those games, they're kind of an evolution of these platformers where it's not so much that you're jumping from platform to platform, but rather you're getting certain abilities that help you to navigate, kind of like HaloTitan was saying, navigate and traverse the space that you're given, right? And my daughter is currently playing Ori and the Blind Forest for the first time, and she loves Ori and she thinks Ori's so cute and blah blah blah. But she's also like learning what it is to play a platformer where, well, you do kind of have to work at it a little bit and play and gain some skill and understanding and knowledge of the physics and how the mechanics work, right? There is some learning to it. And I think that's part of what makes platformers so great.
Yeah.
Well, you think about the whole speedrunning community, right? Like the people that like to this day are still beating like old Mario game records and all kinds of. I'm not a part of the community, so I can only speak so much. But there's this whole layer of skill where it's like, okay, I got through the game, right? Yeah. And it's like, okay, now I'm gonna do these crazy inputs and these split second reactions, right? If I jump on this one block just right, I get launched Mach 10, and I know there's a whole wild community. It's all skill, it's all reactions, all. Like for me, that was where I broke ground as like a real gamer. I would think in my younger days is like, okay, can I even get through some of these sections, right? Some of these games.
Yeah.
It's not a casual.
Well, and that's why they come up with achievements like they did in Ori, where they were like, okay, beat the whole game without dying. And
right.
if you played Ori, you're like, I've died so many times. I am not going to get that achievement.
Section that I just had play in there was one section that I died on a lot.
Yeah.
Getting out of that Ginzo tree.
With the water just
with the water rushing up.
And,
I was just watching that
fun.
thinking like, nope.
Yeah.
And Saga can speak to this because he literally watched me. He put on It Takes Two and then literally went and made dinner and did things while I tried to beat Hell Tower in It Takes Two. And
the full hour and a half before she quit.
I was not speaking. I was not saying a single word. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Don't talk to me. Don't speak to me.
Don't talk to me.
Just like walk away from me."
So you would really hate Super Meat Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Which is a glorious game, by the way.
I've seen the footage. I haven't gotten to it yet.
If you've never played Super Meat Boy, that is another one that kind of broke the mold. Another one that kind of blew up on the scene for platformers.
Huge. A game made by two dudes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny and just great platforming. I really, really enjoyed that game. There were some really difficult parts in that game, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun to play. What is that? But Super Meat Boy, I mean, like, is this like bloody little game where he runs into saws all the time. Yeah, there you go. There's some footage of it where he's running through and you see all the blood. That was one of the crazy things about the game is all the blood is all the deaths you had.
He's got no skin.
Yeah. So
he leaves a trail of himself.
Yeah, he leaves a trail everywhere. And
I
then
thought the story was he was just like a ground beef and that was just meat juice. That's flesh. Okay.
And then when you die, like your death just like looms everywhere you go. So it's just hilarious, dude.
Well, and that's why his girlfriend's perfect, bandage girl. Have a bandage him up. That's one of the hardest. Now the footage we're watching is from Super Meat Boy Forever, not the original. I've never have been able to beat that game. It's so hard.
It's such a great
looks
game.
Like it.
Yeah, it's
a very game, but
it's one of those games that's so fun to watch other people who are really good at platformers beat because they have everything timed out perfectly. And I think that's a lot of what a good platformer should have is like timing out
figuring out the timing. I totally agree.
Yeah. And Meat Boy was also great though because they knew the developers knew you were going to die a lot on this. After you beat the level, it shows all your attempts running at the getting through a section. So you're just watching
all your
Meat Boys getting slaughtered.
All your failures over hours of trying.
Exactly.
Absolutely, one of the fantastic platformer. But that's kind of more of like the Dark Souls of platformers. It's kind of
literally,
it's just kind of punishing, but. I mean, Ori is a good one too because that one is tough but doable
doable. You know what? It was me just thinking on kind of the other end of the spectrum is you got one that's like it's actually relatively unknown, I think, for a lot of people. But if you're really into platformers, you've probably played it. It's called Leo's Fortune, and I absolutely loved that game. There's so much I love the fact that you're this puffball with a mustache. First of all,
this mustachio.
Mustachio. It was originally a mobile game.
I feel like I played it on mobile, yeah.
Yeah, and then they ported it over, and I played it on Xbox originally. And it's this puffball, and he floats if you make him go a little flat, and then he can become all hard if you try to. You can utilize all of the physics of the actual puffball guy. And you're sliding and you're flipping and you're doing circles and that game is so much fun, and I think that one is a great platformer that's a little more chill than something like Super Meat Boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one I remember you streaming Leo's Fortune. back when we were both just starting out streaming for a while there. We got Leo's Fortune.
Yeah, okay, I was just saying, I've definitely this.
And you were under a different title online too. You weren't Fable Trick yet. I remember watching
you seeing him and going, "Oh my god, I love him!" Yeah, exactly.
He's
so
cute.
You were going back and getting all the collectible. I mean, I think you got 1,000 gamer score off this one, didn't you?
Oh, I sure did. But again, it was one of those ones that I totally loved. It was just so much fun, and it looks all dark and grim, but poor little Leo, he's figuring it out, right? And it's such a fun game. I think it's a good platformer, especially there are some tough, challenging moments, of course, as with any good platformer, but I feel like it's a very approachable one, and it's very fun to kind of learn some physics on this one because he does slide around so much. And you can see he kind of blows up and he floats a little bit, and then he can squish down and he slides super fast. It's just a really, really fun one. I really enjoyed Leo's Fortune for sure.
Yeah, we can get lost just watching this guy go.
I know, you can just go.
You definitely seem to have a vibe when it comes to your platformers. Have you ever played Inside or not Inside, Limbo?
Limbo.
Yeah.
That might be another one.
Would that be a platformer? You think?
If it is, it's a very scripted platformer because there's definitely you got to climb up here and interact with this. And I remember there was one segment on Inside in particular where it's like you're running from these dogs and you have to climb up over a fence and get over to the board, run back, climb up over a fence, get to the board. I remember that dog killed me.
It's almost a puzzler.
If it's a platformer, it's a very light platformer, but just the vibe made me think of that.
Yeah.
It's Limbo was one that was kind of cool because the way the game started,
atmospheric.
The dude's just laying there and he wakes up and you start running with them. Mm-hmm. And then when you beat the game,
Unravel a platformer?
Totally,
I would say yes.
Unravel is a great platformer.
Such a great game.
I played a bit of it again. I was playing the first one and it's fun. I like something to keep me hooked in, and jumping around just doesn't keep me hooked in.
Oh man, Unravel so good.
Unravel Unravel
is a co-op, right?
It's co-op, and that you would probably really enjoy that one, getting to play with somebody. Maybe not Saga. Trying to.
I was about to say HaloTitan might have to tag me for that.
Well,
I don't know.
that one, even though it's co-op, it was literally couch co-op. You couldn't play that one online.
I remember
this one with my little brother.
I remember HaloTitan came over and we just went through the whole game in a weekend.
Played the crap out of it. I mean, but by the time we finished it though, we had it so mastered.
It was
honestly. So I would rank that one as one of my favorite platformers too. It was just a fun game. The music was great.
Music was
it even told a little story. It was all nostalgic and
it
was
very. I did enjoy it. I just got a little. I'll probably go back and try to finish it out, but
just watching.
I definitely started playing it.
I can play it again.
It's so good. I've played it quite a few times. I really enjoy what they did with that. It was one of those. I mean, it was initially like an indie project. I think that got picked up by EA, and they helped them get it all finished and stuff. That's one of the things that's great about the indie stuff is they do come out with things that people like me might not see all the time, just because I don't pay attention a whole lot to indie games, but I do love indie games. And I think you get a lot of really cool platformers coming out of there because it's really just a person's passion just put right into this game.
And you get a lot of good story out of some of them too. Like this one. This one was such a sweet story, but you remember what was the one? It was the Inuit one. What am I thinking?
Never Alone, or
was it Never Alone?
No,
Saga. Which one are we thinking of?
Sorry, I went down a whole other rabbit hole. What are you guys talking about?
I was thinking of the Inuit one where it was like the little girl, and I think it was a white.
Are you talking about Lost?
Yes, Never Alone.
Never Alone. It was Never Alone. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember how interesting and really sweet the story was?
Yes.
I was so.
I remember we played that. Maybe you weren't there with me, but I remember playing it at one of the very first times I went to PAX, and Microsoft had an indie game like showcase thing going on like the day before PAX started. That we went on to Microsoft, and you got to go test out all these cool indie games that haven't been released yet. And this is one that I played that I had so much fun with. It was really cool, and it told an interesting story. And that's, I don't know. I think
more atmospheric.
If I think back on like what makes a good platformer, there's just so much that goes into it. But I think if you add a cool little story in there to kind of make everything you're doing feel like it has purpose, now outside of just trying to save Princess Peach.
I'm like, girl, I don't even care at this point. You just keep getting kidnapped. He can have you.
Just you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, like
I guess you're property of King Koopa now. So I know. Here's
they don't all have to have stories, though, right?
No.
Like they don't all have to have these super in-depth stories. No. One that like I really loved that wasn't really story heavy, but was really unique in the way that it worked was Jump Jet Rex.
Oh,
that one was so much fun. You're a dinosaur and you've got jet boots and you're flying around through space. And it was just a whole lot of stinking fun. And it had that really cute pixel art. And then you could get like hats that were like, that would make you look like a dinosaur version of Mario or a dinosaur version of Sonic. And it just was so much stinking fun. And it was hard. And that one, so Rage PB would probably hate that one, but it was like difficult, challenging to the point where you're like, I want to get the fastest time, and it would show you like your global ranking on the time. And I remember getting one that I got like, I don't know, I got in like the top 10. It was like number 7 or something. And it was like, yeah, like you're so excited, and it was just so like it was so fun in a lot of ways that like all because of the gameplay, all because it was just a unique kind of way to do a platformer.
I watched you stream that one too. That one was disgusting.
Yeah,
you guys you guys play Fall Guys?
We
that's
have
a platformer, right? Yeah,
that one's
where you
a
get
full
to play
on
with a bunch of other crazy people.
Arguably one of the most popular platforms player-wise for a while.
Yeah. For a while, It's like a platformer melee or platformer battle royale kind of thing.
Yeah. That one's pretty cool. That one's like really welcoming to everyone.
Totally.
I love that one. We laughed a lot during that game.
Really,
I put my best friend's son on it. He had a ball. He was having so much fun. We had to kick it. We were like, okay, gotta get. He's like, no, hold on, I can do this. And we're like, okay, give me back the controller. It's my turn.
I think those are all some really good examples of like platformers that kind of,
do well.
They're successful. They do well. They're popular. Some of them not even popular. I mean, how many people have heard of Typo Man?
Or Leo's Fortune.
Or Leo's Fortune, things like that. I mean, everyone's heard of Super Meat Boy and Ori because those are the big, huge promoted ones.
Big kahunas.
But are there any platformers out there that kind of stand out to you guys as that you didn't quite like popular platformers that you didn't like, and if so, why?
I've got one that's popular because no one liked it. Sonic 06. Any of you guys suffer through that travesty?
No.
Oh my gosh, this was like the final nail in the coffin for like that era of 3D Sonic. It was the most broken, janky, great, cool. Like it was actually I was about to say great story. It had a terrible story. Sonic gets like French kissed by a human girl at the end. It was terrible. But no, it was just one of the worst examples of like just them throwing ideas at the wall and none of it stuck, man. It was terrible. What was the original question though? Platform we like that we
popular. Let's just say popular games that reviewed well, that people enjoyed that you didn't like.
Do you got one in mind there, HaloTitan?
Not one that I could think of. I mean, I haven't played Jump Jet Rex, but I don't think that was really popular either.
Is anyone else
maybe
curious
Celeste?
what hole?
Maybe Celeste. I don't.
You know what? I was looking at Celeste. Celeste looks like something I want to try. I'm kind of shocked I haven't yet. It looks brutal. I love it.
Yes, Celeste is one that I think is one of those popular ones that people really enjoy, but I just haven't. I watch these trailers for it, and I try to think maybe it's something I'll check out and play, but then I'm like, I don't like the art style. I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. But I haven't played it, so I can't really say it's like a platformer that's popular that I didn't enjoy based on the platforming stuff itself. I think almost every platformer I've played, I think I've enjoyed. I don't think there's a platformer I've played that I'm like, huh.
There's a few that I have that were so brutal, like so brutal that they were like not enjoyable. I would think some of the older ones. I'm thinking like some of the originals like Castlevania and stuff that were just brutal, and you're just like, how do I get like, and the controls weren't like really great. so like even when like you're like, I timed that perfectly, but it didn't happen, right? It didn't work. One that
it's like identifying the correct ghost in Phasmophobia and then being told it's not that ghost.
And then it's not that ghost, right? Yeah, exactly.
Faster.
Some of the Mega Man games are brutal, absolutely brutal.
I mean, they're awesome. My boy.
I really love Mega Man, and like some of the Mega Man games are just like primo, but some of them are brutal, dude. Just unbelievably hard. I think of some of those ones that are like, yeah, that wasn't my favorite experience gaming.
Have you played Ghost Runner? I think it's a Sony exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Fable could play that.
Ghost Runner, it's this like high intensity, like it's considered an action platformer. I think it's a Sony exclusive, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I tried that, and it is one of the most brutal. If you even hesitate, you aren't even given a moment to think. Like it's like Mario, like old school Mario, but you never stop running forward. And you're dying, and you're slashing, and you're throwing stuff, and it's sitting at a 9 out of 10 on Steam. I couldn't get 5 minutes into this game without being like, I'm done, I'm out, I don't even care. And I'm not a bad gamer. Like I have reflexes. This game could not keep me wanting to be alive.
It's the way it's set up. I'm saying this is not. I know Zach wasn't, or Fable wasn't a big fan of. Dying Light because he'd get motion sickness.
Yeah, that one got me so sick.
I loved Dying Light. Dying Light was one of my favorite games. I don't know, something about this game didn't jive with me.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of how like Mirror's Edge would be for me. Like this kind of. I don't know that I could get into this one. This one's, but it does look interesting. I know it had a huge following. People would love to, speed run that on Twitch and stuff and watch it, but. I don't know.
When people do it. It's so impressive to watch other people do it. It's a skill that like I don't have. It's a skill I don't have, but it is really, really impressive to watch other people do it, and I do enjoy watching it. And watching some of those people beat that that secret laser level in Split Fiction has been so fun to watch because it's really it's a skill I think that people have perfected, and I'm always impressed by it.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks like my worst nightmare.
The rage is like, if I have to run a level more than 7 times, I'm out.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'll just get up and walk away. I'm like, I'm done.
Moving on. Well, I do kind of want to wrap things up here. If you guys had to say one thing that makes a platformer great to you, like what is the one thing you really look forward to a platformer? Just quick answers if you can. Let me know what that is for you. Oh, it's a tough one.
Good verticality. Tight controls, obviously. If you have bad controls, if it's floaty, it's a terrible game. But to really make like a good platformer, you have to have just really great verticality, right? Like a platformer, you're playing in multiple dimensions. Where God of War and all these other big cinematic games are often you're on a flat plane. Maybe you have like a rock climbing sequence, right? But the ability, like, I mean, you think Ori, you think Split Fiction, you think Celeste, right? These games have this incredible sense of like, I'm going up here now, and I don't know how to put it into words as to why that's so good to me. But if you can't go up as well as forward, is it even a platformer? So it needs a really good scale of scope.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one.
I'm all about the physics of it.
All about the physics.
That is my favorite part. That's why I loved Leo's Fortune so much. That's why I love Jump Jet Rex so much, because it's so interesting to, with the jump boots and all the different little abilities that he can gather. That's why Unraveled was so much fun, being able to use the whip and, whip around and use the momentum that you get from that.
There's a lot of verticality in that game.
Yeah, all about that. That's why Ori is so cool, because you have these different abilities that launch you at different velocities, or there's all this range within that. That's what it is for me, for sure.
Okay, good. Well, and Rach, I'll go ahead and skip over you, because you don't like your platformer, so there's probably nothing.
It's like I like when the platforms are close together and you don't have to double jump.
Yeah,
like when you don't have to jump at all in my platformers.
It Takes Two. I like Split Fiction. I like Unravel. To me, it's aesthetics. I like, those are beautiful games. They're so fun. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to just keep running into things, at least make it beautiful.
Yeah. That's a fair request.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I think it would be the creativity behind it, especially with playing games like Unravel, Ori, Split Fiction, It Takes Two. Just being able to navigate Typo Man. Super creative and unique, and just navigating these worlds that they have in a unique way that's not, it's similar to other platformers because it's also a platformer, but it's unique to the game, and fun and different and interesting. And I think that stuff really, when I get stuck at a part and I'm having a hard time getting by, but then I'm using these cool new mechanics that's specific to the game to get through to things. It's just really cool to kind of overcome some of those things in a truly creative world, rather than, I don't want to dog on the OG Super Mario because it was so innovative, but it's better than just jumping over the box and sliding down tunnels, and I think we've come a long way from Mario Bros to have, just fantastic platformers nowadays. And with that, though, I do want to wrap up the episode. I know you guys watching probably have some thoughts of your own. Let us know what games you enjoyed that were platformers and why. What about the mechanics and the physics in those games really intrigue you? Be sure to follow us right here on YouTube if you're watching. If you're on Spotify, you can subscribe to us as well. Follow us on all of our socials at Gamers Backlog on. Is it pretty much everything? It's at Gamers Backlog?
Yep.
At Gamers Backlog. So Backlog Gamers in reverse.
Backwards.
Yeah. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called. And I'll let you guys go ahead. You throw out your plugs. Let's start with Fable here.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, I just released a brand new cozy fantasy book. If you guys are into fantasy, definitely check that out. I'm the fantasy author of the group, and I didn't even get to play as the fantasy author in fiction, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But we're gonna work that out.
I blame these two.
But we're gonna work that out in another one. But if you are interested in cozy fantasy, I just released Guard in the Garden. Make sure to check it out.
Worth your time.
The real question is there any platforming in Guard in the Garden?
Well,
you have to mantle any shrubbery to get to the next.
You'll have to buy it.
He's got a bum leg for the most part. So.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of double jumping happening.
Not a lot of double jumping.
All right, how about you, Saga?
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I have a YouTube channel now. I'm sorry. Oh, no, wait. I'm being a YouTuber. I have a new channel I just started. It's at Saga LPG, short for Let's Play Games. I just like exploring fun little new games. So if that's there.
Cool.
Nice.
I need to follow you. I need to follow you on that. I need to follow you on that.
I don't. I have no subscribers. That's the only I can keep that going for right now.
Rage PB. How about you? What are your plugs?
I run our socials, so interact with me there.
All right. You want to reach Rage PB? Just interact on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube?
No, not Twitter.
Oh, not Twitter. All right.
We figured out.
Anywhere but
I have not been posting to Twitter/X because who knew that app still existed?
X
Anyway.
still exists. And you can find me on X at HaloTitan. I'm not really on there very often. I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/HaloTitan. And I'll be switching over to YouTube here once I do make the return to streaming. And that'll be at HaloTitan on YouTube. We do want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Backlog Gamers podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Later.